Guy right here is going to teach me how to do a spark plug.
That's right. So you can tell that your spark plugs need to be replaced. Typically, if there's a misfire, meaning while you're driving, you feel a little bit of a stutter in the acceleration of the vehicle or the continued maintained speed. So what I did is I have an OBD2 sensor, which is just a reader. Every car since 1996 has a port that you can plug into, and it will give you a diagnostic code of the out reading of the engine. You can go to AutoZone, you can go to Advance, and they'll just do it for you and give you what the codes are. I bought one because I like to go to some auctions, and if you're ever making a purchase of a vehicle, it's very good to conduct your own code reading because you want to have an informed decision as to whether or not the vehicle that you're looking at has the possibility of something else. So what I saw is the code said that there was an engine misfire on the first coil. Now, if you're familiar with how engines work, the coil is what connects the spark plug to the ignition chamber. So when combustion happens, there's fuel inside the chamber, the spark plug ignites the fuel and it drives the piston. Now my code reader said that coil 1 was experiencing a malfunction. But what I did was I checked all of the coils. And the way that you do that is you turn the vehicle on, and then one by one, you disconnect each coil to see if you can recreate the issue. And by disconnecting the coil, if the issue is recreated, that means the coil is working properly, right? Because while the coil is connected, it will continue to have that cycling of firing. So I went through, I tested all four. Remember, it's a 4-cylinder car. So 4 cylinders means there's 4 chambers of combustion happening, and each chamber has a dedicated spark plug, and then the coil that is attached to the spark plug. So I checked all the coils, because originally I was just going to buy new coils based on what the code reader said. But after verifying that the coils were working fine, it's most likely, right, that the spark plugs, which are common to have to be replaced usually every 30,000 miles or so, to ensure that constant grip. Now, I could have, in terms of price point for this particular vehicle, which we're going to do a 2012 Volkswagen Tiguan, the coil reading will give you a little bit more of, a determination based on it. And each coil is like $33. So if I wanted to replace all 4 coils, it would have been about $120. But because I tested the coils and know that it's due time to do the spark plug, I decided to just go the spark plug route because, like I said, most likely the coil's functioning normally like they should. It's a spark plug issue. Now, I'm going to replace all 4 spark plugs rather than just trying to do one. Each spark plug's like $11. But the good thing is that doing them all at one time is in your best interest because you want to make sure that they're all firing properly across the engine components. Now, I am by no means a mechanic, and I actually did this through some research on YouTube of how to actually make sure everything is done the right way.
And this is going on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Not just to this video, subscribe to Cliff Mueller because he's funny as hell.
I am.
And I'm not trying to be funny, but I am trying to put you onto something that you'll like. And I can speak from experience. You'll probably like it a lot. So, this is another one of these things that a mechanic would charge you some stupid amount, like a couple $100, and you'll see that this is something that you can do.
Or you could get a crack hat from Park Street in Hartford.
You could. You could do yourself for relatively cheap. So aside from the part costs, which, like I said, in this case is the spark plugs, I had to buy this. So this tool, this is a 5/8 spark plug changer. So what's most important is there's a magnet in here. You'll see why, because you don't want the spark plug to fall into the engine compartment.
Okay.
Pain in the ass to get it out. So we'll get this all set up. I got the OEM spec. These are NGK spark plugs, Dance Auto Parts. This is actually the equipment manufacturer. Volkswagen uses these as these OEMs. So I want to stick as close to OEM as possible. Bosch ones work good too, but so in the Volkswagen, you've got this engine cover, which just pops out, right? Just rubber grommet tabs that go into it. And then you'll see here, These 4 are your coil covers. So the first thing that we're doing is back in the back here, there's these little tabs that I'm going to disconnect one by one, and then we will just pull these coil covers out. You'll notice this engine is really dirty, so I'll probably need to take it in to get an engine wash, just best practice. Doesn't look like much is leaking per se, but it does look like over the time that we've had it, it could really use that. So I'll probably take it to do that this week. The reason I wouldn't do it myself because I don't have the degreaser that's needed. So, we'll go ahead, we'll pop these off. See? Just slides right out. So that is the engine's component, the electrical signaling to tell when the spark plug to fire. And then each of these coils comes off just like this. Check it, make sure. Got a little grease in there. Probably worthwhile to have them cleaned.
Can you English for the people that?
Oh, sorry. A little dirty, but not too bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and set these apart. That one. Notice a little bit different. So now, I need an extender, not do. So an extender just allows for a little bit more grab distance. So I'm going to use the 6-inch extender. Notice I have gloves on because it can get a little bit of greasy up in there. So, I'm just going to take our tool, go right down into the cylinder, you'll feel it click.
Stick it right in, yeah.
Yep, and I'm going to go loosen.
I don't like them loose.
I've noticed. See, definitely time for a change.
How do you know it's time for a change?
You can see a little bit of the corrosion on there. You see it's pretty dirty, darkness. It just means it's been firing off a lot. So, we'll put it all down here. We'll do it one at a time. That one's not so bad, but like I said, it's better to replace all 4 at once rather than just trying to do one at a time. Okay, dirty little oil in there. And the last one. see, starting to have some wear and corrosion on it. Alright, now we take our new spark plugs and we will take them out one by one. Okay, you gotta remember, take off the cardboard fitting. And I'm pretty diligent about these things. I like to put the old ones back in the box, upside down. Just keep it a little bit more organized. But we'll do the same thing where I will put the spark plug in. And the nice part about this tool is that little magnetic holder, right? So you can see it won't fall out. And I'm gonna drop it right back into the hole, change my ratchet setting. Now, technically, you want to do about 18 foot-pounds of tightness. I believe that's the spec for this vehicle. But since I'm doing it by hand, it's not going to be super, super accurate. But what the key is to make sure that it's tight, but not overly tight. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and then there's the stop point. There's one in. Now we'll move to the second one. Load it up, drop it down. Like I said, this is one of these type of repairs where it's pretty common, so it's not something that's out of this world. The price of the parts is pretty standard, but where you're really saving is on the labor. So you notice I really didn't need too many tools. Standard ratchet set. I did have to buy the spark plug bolt head, mostly because I didn't want to run the risk of having it drop in. So usually ratchet sets will come with those larger heads that would work, but it's just more convenient to go this way. Just go back and redo the reassembly. So the same as we went out, we'll go back in. So I'll do this last one first. Remember, this goes towards the back since that's where the assembly head plugs into. Usually they just drop right in, and you'll feel it click when it goes back in place. And then we'll go with this one. We'll go with this one. Same thing. Let's try to get these all lined up. Now, these are just plastic tabs on the top, so you want to try your best not to break the tab. So I like to put them all on first, start on the outside, and then move to the middle, and you should hear each one click back into place. And that, my friend, is how you change the spark plugs. Now, as always, you want to put everything back in the proper order. So just go ahead, drop this back on, make sure it fits into each of the housings, and then we will start her up.
It's alive. Make sure you subscribe, baby. Make sure you subscribe.
Polished air. Most importantly, don't get taken advantage of by a lot of these auto places. For more heavy-duty stuff, always seek out an expert. But when it comes to light maintenance and repair, don't be too intimidated. It's often a little bit easier than you think.
Yeah, I'm mostly a comedy page though, but I thought this would be interesting, especially for guys like me who don't know shit about cars. But make sure you subscribe. Cliff Muller TV, click that button right there on the bottom. You got it, baby, you got it. And shout out to this guy, Evan, man. One of the smartest guys I know.
Appreciate you.
Peace.